I just where's where's my husband? I need to find my husband. It's meant to be on the show with me. I can't find him now. Okay. Now, hang on. Let me. I think he's here. Sorry about this. And there we are. So what happened? I lost you for a.
Yeah, I changed devices.
Okay.
So it's much better now.
So hi is everyone, and thank you for tuning in with us this time, this season again on the show. And welcome, Pastor Dr. Bumi Ajay. I'm glad you're able to join, and I'm glad that you're doing this. You see, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as we thought.
It's all
Just
good.
it's all good. Yeah, all right. Welcome everybody, and again, thank you for tuning in. And the girls, wherever you are in Morocco, hanging out with Temi girls. I hope you're all doing well, and hope to have you back. But I'm glad I got my best half today. I last week we talked about my experience in China, and it's still going on. The second part I want to talk about today, as well as talk about the fulfilled life. It's been coming more often when people ask, what does fulfilled life look like to you? And are you fulfilled? And all sort of things. So I thought I'll bring a wise man again on the show to talk to have a chat together. Let's just talk about the um, the fulfilled life. But firstly, about my other part of China is the fact that when I was going this time, people were talking to me how bad the foods are. Don't eat the food. Even the carrot there is manufactured, cucumber, whatever is manufactured. And for the first time, it dawned on me, and I was behaving likewise. I was extremely careful. And I was talking to one of my friends when I was there that rang me. I told her I'm hungry. I've got my food from Australia, my nuts, my gari, my pap, and few things. I water, believe it or not, and to us to China. And she's like, no, explore, eat, that. So I've always been a strong person. I don't so much take things that people tell me, as a gospel. But this time around, I was very, very careful. Everything about, particularly about the food, just got into me. So I'm like, what is this? What is this? But can I say though about water? I have something with water. I don't, from as long as I can remember, before I was married, I've always stored ragolis in my house. I've always drank ragolis. And when I married, I started to boil water, and I have bottles, series of bottles for my husband. I will put all his filtered water in the fridge. And again, I start to do pure water anyway in Nigeria. I had a company, big running, pure water thing. So I have things with water. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. I remember when we came to Australia, the first investment was water filter. We bought it then for $800. I never forget. All our money we saved, I put that towards water filter. So I have issues with water. So don't say, why did I take my water to China? I will take my water to anywhere. This is the thing with me with water. But B, how come this time you spoke to me, Midi spoke to me, Mrs. Ogudeji, a lot of people were talking to me, don't eat, oh, don't drink, oh. And I listened, and I was, you can call it a little bit of, I don't know if it's paranoia or anxiety or whatever, which I never had, you know.
Okay.
What is it about you are particular about food? And this time I listen to you, don't eat, don't do that. Tell me.
All right. No, thank you for having me on your show. Always love hanging out with you off and on the show. Anyway, so and I think right now we're outside of our base, so there might be a bit of underground or background noise, but that's just because we're on the road,
Yeah,
if you like.
you're on the
So
road.
now to your question, I believe something happened December 2019, 2020, 21, and we all know is that COVID. So I think in the world there that marked a defining moment in everybody's life, in everybody's reality, in everybody's assessment of things. And I know we used to say before Christ, which still exists because I think Christ defines time for us, and we measure things prior to and before and after AD after his death and before Christ BC. But these days, I think people use BC to mean before COVID. so BC before COVID, um, we we wouldn't have really been as paranoid, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
When we're traveling elsewhere, we just you take the normal necessary health kind of care that don't drink um,
water.
water that is frozen because you don't know how it was before it got frozen and all of that stuff. But something changed post COVID that people have to be extra careful. That's one. Then secondly, you're going to China as well, so that's a double whammy. So I think it was just on the platform of that, and we haven't really traveled apart from maybe 2 years ago when we went for Baba's, my father-in-law's funeral. We haven't traveled overseas for a while, so um, countries have changed their regulatory demands and the way things are done. So it just made sense to be more careful in trying to observe things and just make sure you keep out of harm's way than we normally would have been prior to COVID. I think that was why that was a little bit that special.
Projected. Yeah, and I took it very, very well. I did not eat anything there for the first 4 days. And the fourth day, I went out now to go and have something to eat. And I went to a restaurant that is the African restaurant. The owner is Chinese, but the husband is an African. And I created a scene there. Nobody saw it, but I felt no, no, sorry, they saw it, but I felt really embarrassed. But I had to, the where people are very careless. It's really, really bad. I got to the restaurant. I was gonna get my food, and this lady that was supposed to collect my food to serve me was there poking her nose. She was in her nose for like, I'm not kidding, literally like 15 minutes, like doing this, and it's right in front of the chef. I'm like, wow. So I went to the lady, the owner, and I said, "Do you mind? I'm sorry. I don't want this lady to collect my tray because I'm not really comfortable. This is what she's doing for so long while they're cooking my food." And the lady said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Somebody else is going to do it." And then somebody else was, replaced her. And to my dismay, the person next to collect my food now had the mask on and was blowing her nose in her mask, blowing. The restaurant is massive, it's big. I was far away. I'm like, I had to do something again. I now went and said, "So nobody should take my food. Thank you so much. I'll take my food myself." I took it. So we need to be very, very careful in as much as we want to explore, we want to eat anything we like. So your judgment, I mean, what people say about the food being manufactured, I kind of went over that, but now the cleanliness is, I think, is closer to the godliness, really. So that's about the other thing. So that's why I'm going to stop about the food. and how people were careless in handling your food. If you're there in the situation, I think you should get up and get your food. I mean, you might say the chef, maybe the chef wasn't clean, but the food was boiling hot. So I believe that it will be like 98 degrees centigrade, so it will have killed the germs. But the people now that are coming to take your tray and introducing fresh, germs to it is the query. But that's it about China. We're going to go on a quick break. We come back and talk about fulfillment of life, how to attain it. If you attain it, is it achievable or not? We'll be back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So let us know what has been your experience, be safe before COVID and post COVID. Where have you traveled to and how have you handled your diet while you're there? But anyway, today now we're talking about fulfilled life. We challenge ourselves, and I think there's a time we were talking, can anybody be fulfilled at all in life? And what is fulfillment anyway? What is fulfillment? Um, to me, I've always believed that fulfillment is a peace of mind. Absolutely, peace of mind. And you might say, how do you define peace of mind? I say, peace of mind is when you can go to bed at night, close your eyes, and sleep well with no panic, with no anxiety. Peace of mind is not without debt. For example, you might say you owe the government or you owe, if you owe anything and you are able to repay back as required, there should be peace of mind. There might be peace of mind when you cannot meet the need to service your debt. You can say that. But for me, peace of mind is when I can go to bed at night and have a sound sleep, good dreams, and just be grateful. Just be grateful. B, what is fulfilled life to you? Do you think it's achievable? Is the question.
Well, I know that's one big question which most people think is just a mirage, that it's something to be pursued but never attained. But I don't believe that. I think you can be fulfilled. It's not easy because fulfillment in itself means so many things to so many people. If you ask 100 people what fulfillment is and how or when you can achieve that, yeah, I'm sure you probably get 100 different answers. But I think it is achievable, uh, and I would like to define fulfillment as being knowing where you're coming from, knowing who you are, knowing where you're at, and knowing where you're going. I think
Amen.
a fulfilled life is it can I can describe it as a perfectly alive living. It's what you can describe as being perfectly alive. That means you're filled with purpose and satisfaction. You know who you are. You're sure. I mean, you're very comfortable in your own skin. And by the way, it doesn't mean there won't be problems. Life is all wrapped up in that. But
Yeah.
even in the midst of all that, you have an assurance of faith, and you know where you're going when all this is said and done. So I think it's a state of, if you like, when you achieve your zen, as people would say. But from a spiritual point of view, I think it's also a state of alignment where you're one with your maker, when you resonate with your purpose, why God has created you, you're walking, you're living in that purpose, and it really doesn't matter. It's a very beautiful spot to be in. It's a place where you wake up, you're very happy to wake up, and you really don't care what happens, and you're grateful for every second, every moment. you're at peace with life, you're at peace with yourself, and you're at peace with God. I think that would be fulfillment. Anything outside of that, I don't think one is really fulfilled. Money cannot buy you fulfillment. Things cannot buy you fulfillment, material things. So it's just got to be being um, filled to the full, if you like. Fulfillment, being filled to the full, spiritually, in your soul, emotionally, and physically. That would be my take on it.
Fantastic.
Being perfectly alive.
Fantastic. I think also I like what you say, when you know who you are, where you're coming from, and where you're going. That's actually, it's a perfect definition for me, because I remember when we came to Australia. For the first 5 years, I was never happy. I thought it was from grace to grass. I thought, someone that was a managing director in Nigeria, I had everything, and then I came here, I became the cook, the chef, the driver, the everything. Like, how am I going to survive? So I wasn't happy, like the children of Israel are crying that, why did you remove us from Egypt? Why did you bring us to the wilderness to die? When indeed God was working in their life and taking them to where they're going, which is the promised land. I was the same. I was never happy. I was always looking back, like lots. I was always looking back. What was good? What was comforting for me? What I thought was satisfactory life. But then after many years, I discovered that God has brought me here for a reason and for a purpose. And all I have to be is to step into that purposeful life and to be appreciative. So the other picture that came to my mind is that I am being ungrateful. I am being ungrateful. And if, for example, my children that I thought, we're sacrificing our life for, we're doing everything, and they come to us and just blow it in our faces and say, why did you bring yourself? Why did you even bring us to this world in the first place? And abusing us. We will be unhappy because we're giving you our life, literally. We suspended our life for your life of fulfillment and purpose. And now this is how to say thank you. So this is the picture I had, and I start to be grateful to God, and I start to enjoy every piece of moment that I have, every moment that I'm alive. I'm very grateful, and I'm happy where God is planted me. Like you said, it's not outside of some little hurdles will come to you, but then you can't eat all joy, because where I thought I want to be, if I was there, who knew what would have happened to me? If God could open our eyes in the hindsight and see what on inside and give us the foresight and all that, then you will be very grateful to God to know that you're in this life for a reason. So I think a fulfilled life is a life of gratitude. It's a life of appreciating every breath that you take in that is not yours. So even if you're in debt, God is still giving you strength, wisdom, and life. You'll be able to still service the death. Whether you have a child that is got disability, it's not every time that the child will give you pain. There are times that the child will give you. I'm talking about me now. We give you joy immeasurably. We give you joy that you will never ever be able to get from anything and anyone and else around you. So can't it all joy? So I think for me, I truly appreciate God, and I think I'm living a life of fulfillment. I am fully living a life of fulfillment. I'm very grateful. I'm very happy. So, and let's go on a quick break. I've got another nugget that I want to talk about, even with my relationship, with my marriage. Stay tuned. I will be back. Welcome back. We're still talking about fulfilled life, if it's attained, if it's achievable and it can be attained. And I said, I want to talk again about my relationship. My marriage to you, be for example, when we came to Australia initially, I was being so hard on myself and hard on you because in Nigeria, like I said, we had a driver, we had mates, we had this, we had that, and money was not an issue at all. And when we came, I expected you to be doing everything, doing the gardening. And you're like, no, I can't do the gardening, doing the dishes and all that. And I wasn't, so then I didn't have a fulfilled life. But I could have messed my life up. I could have, because of those little huddle that I had then, messed things up. And then I wasn't fulfilled. But now fulfilled. I'm not saying I'm pardoning you that you're not doing it, but what you were doing, what you were saying then was to get a gardener to do it. And then I will say, why are we getting gardener and wasting money? And then you get a cleaner to clean the house. And I'm like, can we clean it ourselves and save money? So then one day I got a revelation that this guy did not ask me for money. It's his money. Who cares whether he's wasting it to you? He couldn't do it, and he wants to put money in place to do it, and you're still fighting. What is your problem? Then I realized it was my problem. So now I don't have any problem. Um, I'm comfortable. I let you do whatever you want to do and use alternative um, to help us to help the house, to do the house show. That's the kind of thing that sometimes, if you are not careful, you will continue to live unfulfilled life. You will not have joy and happiness in your life because you're fighting shadow. You're fighting things that might not even be worthy of fighting. You know, so choose your battle. For example, so I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for every um, treasure that the Lord has given me. And yeah, I
Yeah,
think for me,
absolutely. Absolutely. It's good to hear that. And yeah, I wonder how many people watching us today, or maybe just will watch this at a later date, can really say to themselves, honestly, that they are living a fulfilled life. In John 10:10, Jesus said, I've come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And that's exactly what I believe a fulfilled life is. God wants us to have life more abundantly, spiritually, physically, emotionally, in all aspects of our life, to have to live a rich life. You want to be able to say, honestly, I've, I'm very happy with my life. I've shown love to everyone around me, and I have no animosity to anyone. I've tried to live the commandments of God every day of my life, and I've, given and received true love. No malice to anyone, man or woman, or any of those things. So it's just a place where you feel, well, you're at peace. You're at peace with God, you're at peace with others, and you're at peace with yourself. So that would be my definition of fulfilled life. And I think it's good that one can grow to that point. It's always going to be a process, and people attain it at different stages of their life. So it's not something you want to jump up to attain, because if you jump up you will come down, but if you grow up you will stay up.
we stay up.
So we need to grow up to be fulfilled. It's about attaining that place of maturity and a place of alignment with our maker. And yeah, so that's what I think it is.
Yeah, truly. Like I said, when I just came to Australia, this is not where I am. When I just got married, this is not where I was. So it's about growing up and it's about staying up. So I pray that we continue to grow day by day, one step at a time, and then you will remain on top. In Jesus' name, I pray. This is how we're going to stop it tonight, and we're going to come back to you again very shortly. So, B, can you just say goodbye to our viewers and our listeners?
All right, to all the viewers, thank you for joining us on this amazing episode of Hanging Out with Temi about what stage, or what does it take to live or to have a fulfilled life? I want to just sign up by saying, go and live a fulfilled life. If you're not there yet, that's okay. Just make sure you have left. You may not have arrived, make sure you have left. It's a process, but you can't get there. There's a place called there, and that's a place of fulfillment. God bless you, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye for now.